Right, hello everyone, this is Product Shard, and today I'm going to be going over the execution of Pistol. But first of all, I've got to say Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, whatever you say. It's not actually Christmas when I'm recording this, but it will go up then. And if you're watching this after Christmas, then I hope you had a good one. But to go on to the Pistol, I managed to get it to the second Prestige all the way up in probably 6 or 7 hours. I only played Search with it though, because it's not very good on anything else, but I'll go over that later. It's a pistol that shoots shotgun shells, or it's 28 gauge shotgun shells. It has 5 in a mag and it's a revolver, and unless you have fast mag you have to put every single bullet in, all 5 to reload it up fully every time, which can be a pain, but it is like the funnest thing to do. On Search and Destroy, on anything else it's kind of bad, but there is gameplay of it later, but I'll go over that class and stuff later. But on Search, we saw a guy using it with tack knife and suppressor, and it just looked so cool, so we had to try and get it, me and Chubby Cow, and we spent probably half an afternoon and most of the evening trying to do it, and a little bit this morning, and it's been probably the funnest time I've had on Search in quite a long time, because we weren't like try-harding, but you kind of do have to try hard. You have to play in a different way to use it, different to any shotgun, different to anything like that, because it has such a low range, especially when you put a silencer on it. But firing all 5 shots and it being like shotgun, against one person, when you come up against one other guy, you're pretty likely to win that fight as long as you're very close range and you know, or you're aiming at them already and they're not coming up behind you or something, which you'll probably see in the gameplay. I get some pretty decent kill streaks and stuff using it. We were doing that well most of the time, and or at least one of us was, and it is so much fun. I can't stress that enough. You do have to play in a different way, but once you get into that kind of way of playing, it is great fun. So I'll go over the first class that I recommend. Well, it's kind of 2. You've got to start with this class. You should unlock the laser sight after, well, I'm just going to say only use this gun on Search, because any other game it's not going to do you well. But after 1 game of Search you should probably have the laser sight already unlocked. Put that on, and as soon as you can put long barrel on as well. This will give you extra range and the hip fire comes down, and as it's like a shotgun it actually brings the pellet spread down, so hip firing is a lot more useful. You'll unlock both of these. I think it's the 2nd and 4th attachment, so you'll unlock them pretty quick no matter what you use it on or how you use it. It may take a few games to get to the long barrel, but the laser sight should only be 1 or 2. This just obviously gives it the extra range, the long barrel, which is definitely needed because the range of it normally is pretty abysmal, and it can take all 5 shots to kill at maybe 5-6 feet. So yeah, it's needed for as long as possible. Then for perks, lightweight, you need to be running as quick as you can. You always want to get as close as possible. Cold-blooded, you're going to be ninjaing a lot. Not as in defusing the bomb, but if you know someone's coming around a corner, instead of jumping around the corner and attacking them, you will lie down behind the corner, and if your name pops up then you're dead. So you don't want that to come up, and then you can go up behind them and you're more likely to get the kill. And dexterity is because it's kind of like a shotgun. You'll be using the hip fire a lot, and you need to be able to, as soon as you see them in front of you, just tap the trigger and it fires off the first shot, and then you can hammer all 5 into them and they should die. Lethal, I use C4 because at range obviously it's really difficult to kill them, so you can lob the C4 through windows or over stuff, or just a longer range than the Executioner has, and obviously it's an explosive, so you're more likely to get the kill if they're in a room or something that you don't want to go into because there's 2 or 3 of them. And then I have shock charges as well. These are basically trip mines. That's the way you kind of use them. So if you're running along, you just put one down next to each door or something, so you know when people are coming in or where they are on the map, because obviously you need to have very good map awareness to be able to run to them when they set off the shock charge and kill them. But you should see me using them throughout the gameplay. Then the second class, this is kind of the class we were aiming for. It uses the suppressor and the tack knife. I don't think I have any gameplay where I use both, but there is one where I use the suppressor. And it doesn't seem to really affect it. I mean, it might do, but because you kind of like ninja around the map, and the suppressor just helps a lot because you don't come up on the map, and if you fire 2 shots and it kind of does a bit of damage to them, you don't come up on their radar and they just turn around and kill you. You can fire 5 if they don't die. You can sit down and reload, and they may not notice you're there and then jump up and hit them with another 2 or 3 to kill them. Then the rest of the class is exactly the same. The tack knife is just to make it look cool. You can put the laser sight on if you want. You can't have the suppressor and the long barrel. It doesn't let you put those 2 on at the same time. So you can change out the tack knife if you want, but we were using it because it basically looks cool. This is kind of the way you want to always use it, like one of these 2. Obviously the laser sight and the long barrel is the one you want to use most of the time if you're trying to get kill streaks and stuff, or just change out the long barrel for the suppressor, and you can go more kind of covert and not come up on the map or anything, which is useful for some people. Some people enjoy, or some people are like more able to get kills when they're not coming up on the map. Some people can, or when they do come up on the map, because they can tempt people towards them by firing up in the air and stuff. Or when they get a kill, they know people are coming towards them, so they can camp out a room or something. But either one of these, you always want to be running secondary gunfighter. Get as many attachments on as possible, which is obviously only 2. But as soon as you have the 2 to put on, put them both on. And never use akimbo or dual wield, I don't know which one it's called on this game. But never use that. I mean, it looks so cool when you get it out at the beginning, because you like take out of little holsters and you look all western and stuff. But just never use it. Right, so the next class you're going to be using is kind of for game modes where you're obviously respawning and you're trying to get more than just 1 or 2, up to 6 kills in like a round, like search and destroy. This is for when you're, as I said, trying to get more than 1 kills, when people are spawning around you, when you're trying to get higher kill streaks and stuff, and when you're having to kill more than 1 person at a time. This is basically, instead of, well, you put the laser sight on, and instead of the long barrel, you can choose between laser or long barrel, and then you want to put fast mag on. The fast mag is needed because it reloads all 5 shots at once, so it makes it much quicker, probably like a quarter of the speed of normal, because there is still the moment where you have to kind of like pull the chamber out the gun, which takes a while, but then it's basically instant. And then I kind of do what I do with shotguns, which is using attack insertion. So I have the so again, like lightweight and dexterity, and then you have like quite a lot of points because I don't use any lethals or tactical grenades, except the tack insertion, which I then use with fast hands. So you have enough points to have the secondary gunfighter, and then you're left with another 2. You can put this into a lethal and then nothing if you want, but I choose to put it in perk 3 or perk 2 and put either like cold-blooded or tack mask or something like that on. Tack mask is probably the most useful because you're going to be running in buildings and using this gun basically as a shotgun. But to have the fast hands and the tack insertion means that you can just spawn next to objectives all the time, and it cuts down the kind of run time that you need for where you spawn to killing people. It's basically what I did for shotguns and how to get one-shot kills with them. This is also the way I try and get headshots with it, even though I haven't really done it that much. I've got about 20 to 30 headshots on search while I leveled it up, and then I've got another like 7. I think I got 6 or 7 in one game doing this, and then I'm making this video. So I'll put the link in the description, or like an annotation on screen or something, to the video where I show people how to do that. but it is basically just go on small maps with attack insertion where there are set spawns like domination or demolition. Spawn, or like place your attack insertion as close to their spawn as possible and just run around the buildings near there, and you're obviously much closer to people. You get a lot more kills because you're not having to run as far, because you got to get close to them to kill them. And when you're spawning kind of in their spawn but they run past you, you can run up behind them and get headshots really easily. So that should help you get it to gold as well. That's what I'll be doing for the next week probably. But other than that, it's just make sure you got the fast mag on. You can change the laser sight to anything you want, but I would recommend it because I do hip fire and dexterity obviously makes that more useful. Or you can put long barrel on if you like to aim down sight, and it just gives you that bit of extra range. Don't use akimbo, as I said, because it's just stupid and it has no range whatsoever, and you will probably die a lot more. So cheers for watching. Get this gun, use this gun, go on search, see if you find it fun, and just wait until you get the suppressor on it, and that will make it a lot more fun. Or again, just use it as a secondary. I used it on shotgun classes for some reason as a secondary for when I run out of ammo in a mag. I can switch it out and kill people, but akimbo is quite good for a secondary on like a submachine gun. When you run out of ammo and like a mag for killing people, or when you run into a building. These are obviously a lot better when you got two of them inside a building and you're like 2 or 3 feet from someone. You can kill them in like 4 or 5 shots. So they're good as a secondary, but if you want to run it as the primary, then this is how I recommend it. So cheers for watching, and see you next time.